What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Figure It Out of the Basement's action figure podcast / talk show. Today, with the recent news that NECA has finally been affected by the Friday the 13th lawsuit and the ultimate line for Jason is on hold.
I'm crying.
We thought that we would rank all of the ultimate NECA Jasons.
Which there are 9 of them.
Yep, there are 9 of them. We have all 9. Of course, Roy was just recently released, and that is the final one for now. And then Randy had to go and make us all sad on Twitter when someone had asked him what the next Ultimate Jason would be, and he replied with Part 7. Ooh! So, yeah, we are kind of doing this based on accessories, the design, our personal feelings. Again, this is our list, so if you don't agree with us, that's totally fine. Let's see your lists in the comments down below. Let's just talk about Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I'm Nate. I'm joined with Justin.
What's up, guys? Had to get the list.
Yeah, had to get the list real quick.
The list. There are 9 of them, like we said.
Yep. We have all 9. Both of us each have all 9 of them. Mm-hmm. You have the newer release of NES Jason, though, and I have the older one with the mask is a little bit different. So
doesn't matter either way.
Yep, because we're going to start right now with number 9, and that is the NES Jason.
To preface, we love all of these figures.
Yeah.
So it was kind of difficult for you and I to agree, especially near the middle.
Yeah, we will definitely actually have some minor disagreements with each other.
But overall, we like all of these figures.
Yeah.
I love all these figures, but with the NES one, there just isn't much to it. I'm not nostalgic for the NES game. My first console was the SNES, so...
neither of us were alive when the game came out. Yeah. I have played the game, and I do like it, although it is, kind of bad as well. And the figure is kind of more of a novelty, because obviously it's a purple and blue Jason.
True, and it comes with 2. It comes with the head,
it comes with Pamela's head, and then it comes with a machete and an axe.
Right,
and that's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm. But it's still awesome because when you open the box and if there's light, it'll play the theme music.
Yeah, which the theme music is super awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really nice theme. Now, I would, in an ideal world, love to have the original release, the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, where it was glow-in-the-dark.
Ooh.
The mask and the weapons, I believe, were glow-in-the-dark, and his hands. But, of course, that costs a pretty penny. Mm-hmm. And I'm not that crazy about NES Jason to want to jump in at that point. So, Justin, what is number 8?
Number 8 is a recently released. This is one that they released before Roy, and this is the Freddy vs. Jason, which I still really like this figure, even though it's really down on our list, because they do use a different body mold that instead of like 2, 3, 4, 5.
Because most of the Jasons are on the same body mold, just with a different head, but they actually went out
and accessories and
made a new sculpt for Freddy vs. Jason, because he's much taller.
He is much taller, which I don't know if you've noticed this, but
the giant platforms.
It's because of the feet.
Yeah. I mean, it's like that in the movie. It's not nearly as bad as the figure, but if you go back and check out the movie again, you'll totally notice that he has like pretty thick platforms on.
Right. I mean, Ken Kersinger is a pretty large, tall guy anyway.
But at least from Crystal Lake Memories, Ronnie Yu seemed to want to make him more Frankenstein-like. So I think that's why he has the huge platforms to be similar to Frankenstein.
And then you discovered when you put him under a black light, he looks super dope.
Yeah, he's got all those really... I mean, it's just the painted details of the figure, but they just show up really nicely.
Which it does have really good paint and really good details, but it does only come with the big machete and then the teddy bear.
Yeah.
Just like from a deleted scene. It didn't come with like the spear.
Right. Or it could have come, we could have got a severed Freddy head. We could have got Freddy's arm because he uses it as a weapon at the end of the movie. But, I mean, we do understand it was a little light on accessories because it is a new body mold, so you got to offset the cost somewhere.
Yeah.
And it does come with a really awesome flame effect too, which is one.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Which I think is one of the best Friday the 13th accessories. Period.
Yeah.
But again.
And then the head sculpt, some of them aren't, or the mask.
Oh yes, the bloody mask should also have the claw marks on it as well.
Right.
So it's also, if you really wanted to get super nitpicky, it's not like 1000% movie accurate.
Yeah, but nonetheless, still love the figure. Coming in at number 7 is the Part 5 A New Beginning Dream Sequence Jason, which is a good Jason figure.
Yeah.
But I think it's so obscure and kind of unrecognizable. If you weren't like a super hardcore fan of Friday the 13th, you probably wouldn't even be able to guess like what movie that one is from, because it's basically Part 4 Jason, but it's wet.
Yeah, and we saw the mass confusion on NECA's Facebook page, on their Twitter page, around the time of the figure's release. Seemed like a lot of people were not aware of the dream sequence parts. They were like, this isn't Roy, or wow, they really dropped the ball on this one. It doesn't look like Roy at all.
I remember sending you that screenshot.
Yeah.
If you ever want to have a good chuckle, just go to NECA's comments section.
Especially
on people are so idiotic.
On their Facebook page.
Yeah.
It's a different world there.
Mm-hmm.
But the figure...
Great head sculpts, though.
Yeah,
great, like, different mask configuration.
4 interchangeable head sculpts, including a nod to the original VHS cover art, which was hit right at home for me. That's the head that I have on mine. But the worm head, the dirty mask, and then the single blood drip down the mask.
I like the blood drip down. That's the one that I have configured.
Of course, you could make the argument that this was a pretty cheap figure, though, because it's mostly all reuse. There's very little paint differences.
True, but they did do a really good job of like adding a glaze to the figure to make it look like it's raining. On it. So.
And he does come with some other pretty cool accessories. He also makes the Part 4 figure a better figure because he comes with the split hand.
Right.
And then he also comes with the Jason Voorhees wooden tombstone, which is a pretty awesome accessory as well. Do like the double-bladed axe as well, with the blood on both sides. So he still does come with a lot of solid accessories. It's such an obscure moment. It's probably doesn't even like accumulate like 5 minutes of the movie.
Right.
So it was just kind of like NECA was just like,
let's cash in.
Let's cash in a little bit, but we're fine with that. We're totally cool with it.
So coming in at number 6 is Friday the 13th Part 3 Jason.
Yes. Solid figure.
Very solid.
Comes with a ton of accessories.
Yeah.
If we go ahead and read these accessories off right now, he includes a machete, pitchfork, harpoon gun, knife, axe, fire poker, wrench, and 2 interchangeable heads and masks. Of course, the interchangeable heads, one is bloodied and the other one is not bloodied. And that leads us to why this figure is kind of a little low on the list, and that is the permanent blood on the neck of the Jason. Obviously, you can't change the neck out.
Right.
So if you want to have him unbattle damaged, you still have to have him having a bloody neck, and the paint apps between the neck and head do not match at all.
Right. I think that's the biggest thing for me, is that the paint apps don't match.
Yeah.
And then it kind of bothers me, even though there's a figure that's super high up on this list that is damaged and you can't have like an undamaged look.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't bother me as much as the paint apps are different. But I could see that because, it's at the very, very end of the movie where he gets axed.
Right.
So if you wanted to pose him at any other point in the film, I guess it wouldn't be accurate, but it's not that much of a negative to me.
Well, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, really none of this is much of a negative to begin with. But...
And the reason it's not higher up is because I just think that it's a very, very, very similar look to a better figure as well, which is no fault to NECA. Because it's how it is in the films.
Yeah.
But there's just like a better version of the Part 3.
And it's not even really a fault of Part 3 as a movie either. It's just more so...
It's just they made it better in the next film.
Yeah. Spoilers.
Yeah. But coming in at number 5, and this is where we had a little war going.
That is true. But we made a compromise.
Is the Friday the 13th 2009 Reboot Jason.
Yes. Which, if we go ahead and read off the accessories here, he comes with a machete, axe, fire poker, ice axe hammer, screwdriver, interchangeable hand and head. So the thing that drew me to this figure was not only was it the Reboot figure, but it also came with the hockey mask head, which you could obviously make unmasked if you wanted to, and it also came with the bag head,
which they easily could have skimped out on the bag head.
True, and to me, I really do love the bag head look in the Reboot. I like how it's tightly wrapped around his head. It just looks menacing, even though it's literally just like
a mummy.
It's just like a mummy design. But major issue with this figure, of course, is the hair. The hair on the hockey mask head. He does have hair in the movie, but almost every single shot you see it in, not only is it tucked under the straps of the mask, it also is tucked in to his shirt.
Right, I was gonna say there's not nearly as much hair as there is in the figure. The figure seems to have locks of hair.
Yeah, the figure has giant golden locks of hair.
And then there's a really weird, which is my gripe with the figure, hairline where these straps go
to where the strap rests.
Yeah, and it's just looks so bad.
Yeah, but that's on the back of the figure.
It is on the back of the figure, and then I have them posed with the part two or
the bag.
I have him posed with the bag look to it, so it doesn't bother me as much. But then he also doesn't come with the bow.
Yeah, true. Uses. Big missed opportunity for him to come with the bow. I feel like that's a pretty iconic part of the movie.
Because most of these figures do come with every single weapon that Jason used or didn't even use.
Yeah.
As we'll on screen show in a later figure, but. Didn't come with the bow. I mean, I still enjoy the figure. I think it's just because I'm not a fan of Jason with hair in general. When I think of Jason, I think of Undead Zombie Jason, parts 3, 4, 6, 7, even 8. I just don't think of him with hair. I don't like Jason with hair.
Fair enough.
I have a grievance against hair. So that is just simply a design choice of the film. So it's really no fault in NECA's figure design anyway.
Yeah, but the figure does feature really nice details. It's got really nice paint apps.
Yeah, the jacket.
The jacket is really nice. Love how long the machete is, even though that's from the movie. It's just exaggerate. It's the size of a sword. And the weapon storage for the machete is also really awesome. A nice little added touch there. But the lack of a bow and the hair design on the hockey mask head just left us scratching our heads.
Still a good figure.
Still a good figure. So coming in at number 4 is part 6.
Yep.
Jason Lives.
This is where we flip-flopped.
Yeah.
We didn't know which one to go where.
True, but you did have a point, because I was making a big deal out of Reboot's weapon storage, and then you reminded me.
Yeah, that the part 6 not only has the machete storage, but he also has knife storage.
Yeah.
And it clips and unclips where you could pull out the knife out of the sheath.
Yeah.
And that's just super cool. I mean, having all that weapon storage, and then such an iconic look from one of the best Friday the 13th films.
True.
Our second favorite film.
True.
Well, Friday the 13th film. And it's just such an iconic look. Love the green. And I love just all the, the utility belt and all of that. The accessories that it comes with is insane.
So for accessories, he comes with knife, machete, fence post, tombstone, alternate hand, and removable mask. And of course, he gets even better if you have the Friday the 13th accessory pack, because then you can put him in sort of the floating, chained up look from the end of the film.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really a criteria, but I kind of mentioned it earlier, it's a figure that is complemented by the accessory pack.
Right.
So it's kind of influencing my opinion. However, I would say a negative I have of this is the eye holes are solid.
Yeah.
On this figure, I think all the other ones aren't solid, so I don't really know why they chose to do that, because the skin of the maskless, unmasked Jason is very dark, so you could totally have it to where it's very dark eye holes if it wasn't solid. So
it is a little bit of an odd choice, but maybe, I don't know, maybe in the movie does CJ Graham have pieces of cloth over the eyes or something? That's the only thing that I've that I could think of, but I haven't watched part 6 in a little bit.
Yeah,
because
because there are some points in the film where you can see his eye.
Right. But then I feel like there's other points where he might actually have, like, the little, like, piece of cloth underneath the mask.
Or maybe they tried it and it just didn't look good.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll never know, but I'd be interested to see what it would look like. I mean, I guess I could just use a different mask.
Or you could
see what it looks like.
Just X-Acto knife if you wanted to get a little crazy. But
not that crazy.
Yeah. But either way, comes with a lot of great accessories.
This was my first NECA Jason that I picked up. And then I got lucky with like a few other ones that just popped up.
Yeah, true. When they back in the good old days of Toys R Us. Just kidding. Although it was a pretty nice place to find NECA figures.
Right.
Better than Target?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, for sure.
Coming in at number 3 is part 2.
Ooh. Another banger.
Bag Boy Jason.
Bag Boy Jason. Awesome design. One of our favorite designs of Jason.
Right.
Absolutely loaded with accessories. He comes with the machete, pitchfork, pickaxe, knife, spear, campfire, Pamela's head, and an unmasked head, as well as his masked bag head.
Yeah. This one just has so many cool accessories that they didn't necessarily have to put in there, but they did. I mean, the Pamela head, unfortunately, we said this earlier, but they're affected by the lawsuit now. They should have made like a second accessory pack and put the altar in there for the Pamela head. But the fact that we have a Pamela head is pretty awesome. And then the campfire is just super cool. It's one of the main, like, it's one of the first pieces in my little diorama that I have in my shelf.
And then also, if you have the accessory pack, then it's all just like, you know, you're starting to fill out.
Yeah.
You're starting to fill out the Friday.
You got your dock.
Yeah.
You got your Camp Blood sign. You got your Camp Crystal Lake sign.
It's really good. And like you were saying, it does suck that we don't have the altar, but I mean, he literally comes with every weapon he uses in the movie. Right. And again, it's just a great design. We love the bag design. Very classic. And the unmasked head is awesome, too.
Yep. All right. Just moving right along for number 2 and 1. We had a little rough. This could go either way, I feel like.
Yeah.
But we ultimately decided number 2 was part 4, the final chapter. This one is just... like, I mean, we've said this for every figure. Chocked full of accessories.
For accessories, he comes with a machete, a knife, an axe, corkscrew, tombstone, hacksaw, cleaver, and 2 interchangeable heads and masks.
My goodness.
That is a lot of accessories. And then, like we mentioned earlier, you get the Part 5 Dream Sequence figure, and then you just put the split hand on the Part 4 figure.
Because that was the one big accessory that was missing, but then they made it available with a different Ultimate figure.
Yeah, because it came with the quarter scale figure,
right?
The split hand, and
which I do have.
That was the big head scratcher, though. Was where's the hand? You include the head that has the slit that you can actually like fit the machete in,
right?
But you don't include the split hand. And then they were just kind of like, all right, we'll just throw it in with Dream Sequence Jason. So it's like, boom, you buy this one, you get a bonus accessory for Part 4.
True.
Which was dope.
Yep. And then obviously this is our favorite Friday film, and this is what I was talking about earlier when I said that the Part 4 is like a better version of Part 3.
Right.
Design-wise, better unmasked look, better, you know, it's a little more dirty. And because I remember like the first time we watched the franchise together, I always made the joke like, Jason's just going to work in Part 3. Like, he just has his work pants, his dress shirt.
Yeah, his pants are like really light, like blue jeans almost, and yeah, but by the time we get to Part 4, you know, he's got the gross black fingernails. It's like the
hope that Tom Savini came back.
Yeah,
for all that, especially with the split hand.
Yeah, and then when he gets the machete to the side of the head and his eyes are moving and everything.
But this is like the epitome of like when you think of Jason. I just think this is like if you're a Friday the 13th fan, but you didn't feel like collecting all of them. I think Part 4 would be like the perfect Jason figure. To get. I just feel like whenever there's like generic merchandise it's always like...
It's usually either part 3
Yeah.
or 4.
So, I mean, that's why he's number 2. I mean, great accessories. There's great detail on them. I mean, they all have great detail. But then just add the fact that it's a great design and it's from our favorite final chapter. So, that's why it's part 2.
Yes. And number 1 is a banger.
This figure just came in the mail for me today.
I've had mine for a couple days, and if you want to check out my review of this figure, I actually have reviewed almost every single one of these figures, except for part 2.
And those are pretty popular videos.
Yeah, I
compared
never
to our others.
did a review for part 2, which I feel like maybe I should, just to say that I've...
Yeah, was it Fig Fury or someone was like still waiting on that part 2 review?
Yeah, it was one of our longtime followers kept berating me for it, but
I played with this figure for like 5 minutes, and I already knew like this is either 1 or 2 for me, and that is, of course, we haven't even said it yet, Roy Burns.
Yes.
From part 5, A New Beginning.
NECA went out with a bang.
Yeah, they went out with a bang.
At least for the time being.
Yeah, until Sean Cunningham and Victor Miller can just work things out, just pinky promise each other.
But it's more like Sean needs to pull his head out of his ass.
Yeah. But anyway, amazing detail on this. You said your unmasked version was a little meh.
Yeah.
But I would like to think mine's pretty good. I don't know what to compare it to, though. So it didn't bother me as much. And we both agree that why would you ever not have the mask on with this figure? Because the only time you ever see him unmasked in the film is there's like spikes through him and the plastered thing is like ripped.
Yeah.
So I don't really see why anyone would want to pose it unless they're doing like a Friday the 13th the game diorama.
Yeah, true.
And someone unmasked Jason.
That is true.
Now we're just going too crazy. But the accessories on this one.
For accessories for our Roy boy, we've got the spike, which is the railroad spike, I would assume. Cleaver, flare, knife, hedge trimmers.
Articulated hedge trimmers.
Machete, spear, a garrote, and the mask is removable. And the garrote is the stick thing.
Okay, I was wondering what that was when I read it earlier.
Yeah.
I was like,
I googled it because I was like, what the hell does that mean? And it's just like a general term for like a torture device where it's like you're strapped in and the straps get tighter.
Okay.
So
and that specific accessory has metal on it, unlike the belt loops.
You could
whatever.
Have them twisting someone's head, but I think the hedge trimmers are the best part easily.
Oh, yeah, articulated hedge trimmers.
And Roy is on the 2018 Michael Myers body, so he has those really nice double jointed elbows.
Which is why, like, I think accessories aside, detail aside, the fact that this is the only Jason with double jointed elbows. All of those fantasy poses.
True.
That we've always thought, that would be a really cool pose. You can now finally do with Roy. I think the fact that he has double jointed just pretty much instantly puts him on top.
Yeah, because you can.
And then add in the great detail and all those accessories. I mean, we didn't even mention the flare looks super cool as well.
Yeah, the flare is dope. Nice. Love the sculpt work on the flare.
Yeah, so super hyped on Roy, which is kind of funny because we're a little lukewarm on A New Beginning.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's fine.
I think I just have a soft spot if they're in the original 8 Paramount releases. I just have a soft spot, even for Manhattan. So, what an amazing articulated hedge trimmers. You can have them.
Yes. It is really awesome, though, that everything that he came with, it was well worth the wait.
Right.
I feel like we had to wait a long time for Roy. I don't know if you felt like that, but it was just kind of like that anticipation ever since Dream Sequence.
Yeah.
We've kind of been like, where's Roy?
Yeah.
Where's Roy?
And we talked about him in an episode of Figure Out with all that news.
Yeah.
That NECA news for whatever con that was.
And we got, I mean, the teases where we saw like the unpainted accessories at first, and like just seeing what he was all going to come with. It was just like, Roy's gonna be a great figure, and he is, and
it's something different. I mean, the jumpsuit is like a different color than the rest of the Jasons, what they typically are, and then the mask is, of course, the blue triangles instead of red.
Yeah.
So it's just something different as well. And then add, like I said, double jointed elbows and then all the great accessories.
And I can understand why some people would be a little annoyed that you can only have the battle damaged look.
The stomach.
But, I mean, in theory, you could probably just switch the heads out and put the Roy head on the 2018 Michael body, and then he won't be battle damaged, although his collar will be up. So that's kind of like the one trade-off you'd have to have. But, I mean, you probably could do that. NECA figures are usually pretty universal with the head and hand pegs.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Might be something to try. I don't know.
But
I got rid of my 2018 Michael figure.
Yeah, and I'm going to do that as well. But I look at the stomach damage as just another step that they took with detail.
Yeah.
It just shows how far they're willing to go to make sure that everything is like super accurate.
And yeah, and
because if I could choose stomach damage or no stomach damage, I would choose stomach damage simply because it's even more detailed than they're already doing.
True. And at the end of the day, I don't know about you, Justin, but like,
doesn't matter.
Like, I'm not gonna be looking at it like super closely. Like, I mean, obviously I will, and I'll mess with it every once in a while, but I'm not gonna go, I really wish it didn't have that stomach damage on it.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's just like, he's on the shelf. He's just part of all of my
Jason
Jasons
lineup,
and it's satisfying. Mm-hmm. Satisfying no matter what.
And then we also, or I have the mask here. Just throwing that in there.
The part 4
Give me
mask.
more NECA Friday goodies.
Yeah. So, that is our ranking of the Jasons. Of course, what is your ranking? We'd love to hear from you down in the comments down below. Of course, you know, it sucks that we won't be getting any new Friday merch for a while. I believe the last thing to come out is going to be the clothed
Pamela?
Lady of the Lake Pamela, because I can't use Betsy Palmer's likeness, so she's the zombified version from the end of part 3. But then I think after that, it's going to be radio silence for a long time for Friday, which sucks.
Which, like, come on.
Yeah.
Just work it out. Like, I'm so sick of, like, modern Hollywood culture. Like, all of this, like, Marvel, Disney, Sony. It's like starting to affect, like, every franchise now. And it's just, like, all of this corporate mumbo-jumbo, like, company, like, crap. Just work it out. Yeah. I mean, I know it's more complex than I'm making it to seem, but it's just super annoying because we're also big fans of the game.
Yeah.
And they can't produce any more content for the game either, and they pretty much gave up on the game.
Yeah, they literally handed it off to a different development team, so...
Yeah, so it's just really unfortunate. Really annoying.
But, you know, hopefully the lawsuit will get settled within the next couple of years, and we can just get right back into getting our Jason figures.
Yeah.
So, that is our ranking of the Ultimate Jason figures that have been released so far. Of course, if you enjoyed this episode of Figure It Out, don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, ring that bell for notifications so you know when we're uploading, share this video with your friends, your mom, your dad, grandma, cousin, second cousin, aunt, uncle, nephews, nieces, everything like that. Anyone in your life that is a horror fan, anything like that, send them our way. Of course, I'm Nate. I'm joined with Justin.
See you guys later.
And we will see you guys next time on Out of the Basement.